Yesterday is gone. Forget about tomorrow and the ceilings you see right through. Find the moment and make it. Write your headline and raise it to the sky. No one else can create it. Take your banner and raise it to the sky.
Okay, go.
You ready now?
Action.
Action. So today we're going to put in our new water maker from SEAWATER Pro. We bought it a year ago, and because we thought we were going to be on the hard course a little less time than we were. But anyway, today's the day. So in our new utility room, we've got counters that go all the way around, and on the inboard side, we have a shallow counter, and this should mount perfectly up underneath of there and give us access to everything. So we bought the 110 volt version. It's 110 volts pump, and we bought the 40 gallon an hour system, which gives us 2 membranes. Each does 21 gallons an hour a piece, and the entire process comes, or the entire kit comes as a kit. You put it together. So the way the flow of all this water works is like so. We're going to have water coming in from outside, comes in through our low pressure pump, out of the low pressure pump into our sea strainer, which is a fine mesh stainless strainer that will, you know, keep, I don't know, bugs and barnacles and all that fun jazz out. Comes out of there, goes up into the 20 micron, then to a 5 micron filter, which gets it filtered down nice and tight. Then from there, there is a small hose that comes out of here that reads over on our cool panel, which tells us what our low pressure is. We want to be 50 or 60 PSI. If it's 50 or 60 PSI, it tells us that we have adequate water flow through the filters. Out of that comes a bigger line, and that bigger line comes out of here and runs around to the intake side on this big pump that's going to take us from 50 or 60 PSI up to 800 PSI. That's going to come out of this high pressure line, and we'll measure that gauge, or measure that pressure with this gauge here, and we want to be up in that 800 PSI range. So out of here, these are the high pressure hydraulic hoses. It'll come out of here and go into the filter. We'll then push and in this side, out this side, where the high pressure comes out to the panel. And that is where we'll actually read this gauge. It's just another hose that tells us the pressure that's coming out from there. And after that, we've got on this end, if you want to take a look, there's 2 lines that come out of here, which we'll split down and make into a single. And that goes into the bottom of our fresh water meter. And that fresh water meter comes in on the back side here. And as we turn this knob and increase the pressure, our water flow will increase. And this allows us to gauge how many gallons per hour that we're making. And then out of the top of this goes to our freshwater tanks, and out of the back of this we'll dump all the brine water or the brackish water overboard and back into the ocean again. So that's how it works. You get most of the fittings that you need. I don't think that there's anything major that's missing. They decided to change our 110 prime pump to a DC pump, and I'm gonna have to get a couple fittings that'll match up for that. But the system comes pretty complete, other than a few bits that you're gonna need from the local hardware store. And the last cool thing that this unit does is it's got a carbon filter on it. And obviously there's no chlorine in the ocean, but after you're done running the water maker, this will actually take fresh water in from our water tanks, and we can set the timer and it will run through the carbon filter, pull out any chlorine or any sanitizer that we have in there if we do have it, and then it runs this fresh water through the entire system that I just laid out, and it washes the entire system down and pushes all of the salt out. So we've got a freshwater rinse every time that we either want to use it, or if you want to rinse it once a week, or you can set it up to automatically turn over every few days or week or so to wash and flush the system out. I've mocked up this shelf, and this is where the pump is going to sit, high pressure pump. And below that, we are going to mount this here. And that's where all of our filters will go, like so. And then we're going to mount our low pressure pump somewhere in this-ish range, or up here-ish. And then the membranes are going to mount down that wall, up underneath of here. And then we're going to have a block off, a wall here with a cabinet door that opens that we're able to access all of our stuff. So right now all I'm doing is rough cutting all the ply, getting everything mocked up into place and making sure that all of our clearances fit, and then I'll trim, sand, finish everything, put a coat of poly on it, and then reinstall it in onto the counter. And then we can put all of our stuff in. Water is on its way.
What's the conundrum?
I don't know where to drill a hole in my boat.
I don't want to drill a hole in my boat.
I don't want to, but I don't know where.
What's this hole for?
It's the brine water and the flush out of the boat. And we don't like drilling holes in our boat. And I really don't like doing it on the water, especially when I can't tell where it's going to come out. So I think we might run it over to the head and pump it out the space where the sink drain and the, what's that called? The vent for the waste is. So I have to measure for how much hose I need, because I don't think the 6 feet is going to reach.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Drilling holes in my boat is never my most favorite thing in the world. It always makes me a little nervous and a little crazy, and now that we're on the water, that feeling is intensified just a little bit. Watching Ty bounce around in the dinghy while trying to triangulate, so precisely I might add, the proper place for the discharge hole wasn't terribly fun for me, but at least this hole is above the water line.
Oh, bang my head. Ugh. Oh shit, come back. All right, Sid, tie off and then go inside. So we've gone through the just glass part of the boat. We wanted to prevent from going through anywhere the core is at, because we have to drill a larger hole in that case, and we would have to then epoxy the inside of the hole and then re-drill it. This way, this is all just solid glass. And in lagoons, where the access holes are at, there's actually a recess here where, even though everything around it is balsa core, the balsa core actually stops several inches out all the way around, and they taper it down so it's just glass for any of the penetrations in the holes of the boat. All right, Sid, are you ready? All right.
After a successful test fit,
Okay.
we properly prepped the whole surface and affixed the through hole.
All right, so with the water maker, we wanted to put it inside the utility room, but we wanted it out of the way under the counter, but still accessible. So what we did is I built this access panel that will go down that goes down underneath here, and we have the big main pump. We have our pre-filters that run into our membranes, and our membranes hide back behind here. If you can see back in there. Not really.
Sorta.
Okay. And then we mounted our control panel there will actually be a nice Lexan or acrylic cover that goes over top of this to protect all of this. And this is where we turn our boost and our main pumps on, control our pressure, and have our readout for our water quality and flow and all of that fun stuff. And then down below here we have a switch which we have temporary labels on, and this allows us to fill port or the starboard side of the boat based on where we need it. So the actual construction of this whole process was really boring, and we weren't gonna do that to you on YouTube. So basically, marine grade plywood, we built a frame and built access panels to enclose and hide everything. So I'm sorry I didn't show it to you, but it's not terribly enthralling video. If you have any questions about what tools I used, why we did it this way, please leave a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to answer all of your guys' questions.
We're here in Fort Lauderdale, and we just stopped by SEAWATER Pro so that we can get some of the latest and greatest information and also give you guys a little bit of a tour of what their facility is like, because it's pretty amazing. We love the fact that it is a US company and they're doing everything right here in Florida. So let's go in and take a look. I love that when you walk in the door, they have a couple of nice displays on the wall of the 1 and 2 membrane systems, giving you a good idea of what to expect. My OCD loves this place because everything is so neatly labeled. It's clean and organized. I love it. You can see all the details that they're going through to package up these water makers and get them sent off. Mike and his team test all their products before sending them out, and at multiple phases during their assembly process as well.
Water coming through here, the drainage, into the plug here. So like if the pump
into the
is
bucket.
here, where you
Yep.
see how it works. And then we do the pressure test.
Okay.
What we're looking for is not leaking here. This is not enough Teflon tape on it, so it's not
Right.
leaking here.
Right.
The whole gauge is what we're looking for.
And you're holding pressure.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm holding, actually I'm over. Usually 800, but I go to 900. Hold for about 30 seconds. Make sure I don't see no leakage in the tube.
Fabulous. And then you test it again after it goes in the panel.
Yes, ma'am.
Fabulous.
Make sure.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you again to Mike and his staff here at SEAWATER Pro for letting us tour your facility. Use the link below to get your SEAWATER Pro water maker today. Join us next week when we talk about what it costs to do a total refit on our Lagoon 450.